Thanks for staying with us. So this segment is titled The Game Changer. And we, the ladies of YourView, will be discussing and celebrating the defining moments that have shaped our lives and careers. So over the course of this segment, we will be highlighting our personal stories of resilience, determination, success, and breaking hurdles of what seemed impossible. The game changer begins. And this doesn't have to be something so big, like I achieved one big goal and all of that. So let me start. I've always been in and out of a diet, right? There was a time I joined Miriam to do keto for a while. In fact, I roped my guy inside the keto, and in 3 months, he had lost all the weight. People were now asking him, brother, your wife is not feeding you again. What's happening in the house? So we had to tone it down a bit for him. So it was easier for him to lose. And I have been the one struggling with it. And because I also have sweet tooth, sometimes I'm just craving ice cream and those cookies that I'm so used to and all of that. But over the years, I now started paying attention to my body. That became a game changer for me. Now, we have been told, during the keto classes that you have to learn to listen to your body, which I didn't understand initially. So I'll go with the diet. Okay, what are we eating today? We have to eat by this time in the morning. We have to eat by this time in the afternoon. We have to eat by this time in the evening. And I was struggling. So when I now started listening to my body, now I would eat only when I am hungry, not because every other person is eating in the house and I feel like I've not had breakfast or I've not had lunch. That was a game changer. In fact, sometimes I can go hours, sometimes till 3 p.m., I haven't eaten anything, and I am not hungry, and my energy levels are quite high. So till I started listening to my body, it changed the whole dieting thing for me. It was a real game changer. So I think it's important that we learn to listen to our body, learn to listen to our guts in anything you're doing, even if it's in business, in relationships, in anything at all. Your body keeps talking to you, your guts, your intuition, that's why it's there. It keeps talking to you. But most times we make the mistakes that we make because we don't listen. So I've learned many lessons on learning to listen, especially on this diet stuff, learning to listen to my body.
Because I can relate to that, because I'm someone that I do lots of intermittent fasting because I don't have the energy or whatever to exercise.
Okay.
So, I do that. And then I came on the show, and Mariah introduced me to plantain chips. And longer throats like me now, I couldn't resist and I overdid it. And then I now said, you know what? I'm going to go back to my way of doing things, because I noticed that I'm 3 kg or 4 kg overweight. And then all of a sudden, Rama to now introduces me to hot puff in the morning. But I said, no. That I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to
today you were.
Today I was, yes, right? Yes. I'm going to stick. I was perceiving the thing, touching it hot before I said no. But why am I saying this? I didn't have any media experience whatsoever. I'm a lawyer and an entrepreneur, and then I got the opportunity to come on the show and then working here. So I think it has been a game changer for me because I'm someone that I think outside the box. I don't like to stay in the box. And this year I said, you know what? I'm going to try to say yes to everything. I'm going to try to do something different and try your things. That was, I said no to pop-up. And I not put myself in a box, right? And it's been a game changer for me in terms of my personality, doing something different, juggling. I've been juggling multiple jobs and multiple things this year. Waking up early. I'm not a morning person
at all.
I'm not a morning person at all. But then I've been waking up really early and being present. And it's been a game changer for me. So yeah.
So I would say same thing with her coming on the show too is a big game changer for me. But first of all, a lot of things changed for my life. I will talk about my personal growth. Okay, so most times I talk a lot, not really talk, but when I'm talking, I'm
people will not believe
authoritative.
That you talk a lot.
I do. I'm always authoritative, and when I'm talking, most times when I'm talking to people, I'm always blunt. I don't cut corners okay, maybe I'm trying to say something, try to make it subtle so that the person will be able to take it in. I just say it like that and all. And then, I kept on going like that until one day my second daughter came and sat me down and told me that, Mommy, sometimes when you talk to us, it's not we are listening. You don't have to shout.
They won't.
We are listening. Just talk to us in a better way. Okay, mommy, why don't you say it this way? If you say it this way, she gave me examples of what I have said and the way it came to her. It came to her, you know, like it hit her bad.
Really
You know,
hard.
she didn't really like it. So she was telling me that, mommy, if you can say it in this way or that way, or we'll still hear you and we'll adjust. You don't have to shout. And
Ew.
that conversation changed my whole perspective.
Change your game.
Changed everything. I listen now. I listen attentively.
Wow.
When you're talking, I'll listen to you. And most times, like I said one time, I said, when you talk to me these days, I don't have to give you a reply at that very moment. I'll just hold on. Anytime I feel like I can answer, I'll come back and answer. I've changed my I've changed my whole orientation in a lot of things. I've grown personally from inside outside. And it's a major, very tough. It was tough because sometimes I want to talk, I want to say something. I'll now tell myself, no, just hold on, take a deep breath. Later on. And
This is an aspect of you we haven't seen, really.
Are you serious?
Yes.
And I've stopped rushing, you know, like maybe I have to do something, No,
In a hurry.
take your time. There's time for everything. And so that talk that day just changed my whole perspective to a lot of things.
The talk was the
That's
game
in-
changer.
yes.
The game changer.
Well, for me, I think, let me talk about my environmental advocacy. So I would say that writing my book, Vultures to the Rescue, was a game changer. Because what it did, at first, you know, I wrote a book and I'm an author. But what it did is that I now started doing school visits and I'm visiting children and I'm just visiting Nigerian children, you know, and hearing them have conversations concerning the environment. For me, that opportunity to go to different schools and meet different children and hear how we think, you know, was such a huge game changer. Being an author was just what it was supposed to be, but it has changed me into a speaker in
Expanded.
schools. And because of the work that I'm doing with the children, guess what? I am now an ambassador for an international NGO, Conservation Without Borders. Because of that work, a lot of game-changing things have just been happening for me. So so that book, or maybe even before the book, just being in the environmental space is a game changer for me. And I'm happy to also see that game-changing thing for me is showing in different game-changing events, even for my friends. And, you know, I'm influencing and encouraging, and I'm seeing people just being influenced by what I'm doing in the environmental space. So, Vultures to the Rescue is a game changer for me.
Yeah, it is. I agree with that also influencing, because if you surround yourself with certain type of people, you are definitely going to pick up on some of the things that they're doing, you know, and it will affect how you see life. So prior to now, I never used to think about the environment, right? But then I would see your videos, I would see how you're putting things together, you're recycling, you're, you know, teaching people how to, instead of throwing away your trash, you're able to use it to do certain things. Got me thinking, in my own space, being an entrepreneur, how can I also do something to save the planet? And that's what bettered my new fashion line at Dahaba, where we are recycling. We are using old products, old jeans, adire, you know, to make outfits. And then we are going to be showing the process very soon on how we are putting those things together, you know. And somebody was like, Auntie, when did you get into sustainable this thing? Your friend has really influenced you. And I'm like, yes, of course. If you are in someone's space who is doing something, who is thinking about the planet and all of that, you are definitely going to pick up on that. The only thing I couldn't pick up on was, you know, taking care of my plants. That one I still, maybe with time, that one I'm still struggling to even have that time. But I now understand what it means to save the planet, what it means not to spoil, but also to use things over and over and over.
I think what I'm hearing you say is that relationships are an important aspect of game changing.
Yes, changes your game.
Relationships are game changers.
Yeah, they are game changing as well.
Yes.
So that's an amazing one. I think this is the beginning of this game changing conversation. We're going to be having more of it. Hopefully, when Mariah comes, she will start and give us our own game changing gist on Monday. But let's take a short break now. When we come back, we move on to the other aspect of the show. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.